You made a post, you get 10 points. Yeah? And we tell teachers that come up with a challenge. Again, this is the gamification part of it. That if you make 400 points by the end of the semester, I give you 5% extra. Okay? And that's really works. Because now a student feel like you are doing Facebooking and stuff. You know, they look, you know, because in Facebook, what do? We find an interesting video and we put it in Facebook and we get excited that we got 500 likes, you know? This is basically how the psychological aspect of it.
I would like to ask about the course and global classmates. When you are posting something to this course and global classmates, I think you are using the name of the course as a hashtag, yes?
Yes and no. Hashtag also we are using it for a different ways.
I'm curious about if somebody using the literature in other language, for example in Turkish, we are giving a Turkish name to the course. Can anybody posting to literature see the other language names of that course?
Let me know how it works. When you as an instructor create a new course, that you could really click on the courses on the top and you say create a new course. Okay, there is a required field that you must select. And the required field say which of these course category your course is about.
Course category.
Okay, so, and we came up with only 85 course categories. You know, for example, there is only one literature. We don't say American literature, or we don't say Greek literature. But if it's a Greek literature and you truly wanted it to categorize as Greek literature, you basically type in as other. Okay? So the system, the CN, would tag these as a Greek literature. Okay? So when you say share this post with this class and the global classmate of this class, if somebody else, somewhere else, also tag the course as a literature, would see that. Very simple, you know, and that would work. You can also pair courses. Let's say that you are teaching an entrepreneurship course and I'm teaching a business management course. But for some reason we want our students to work to each other. I can basically go to the course pairing and I can pair your course with my course. Okay, we can also do this. See, the whole idea was that we come up with a mechanism to be able to break the walls of the classroom and let the student and the teacher to be connected outside of this 25, 35 students in the class. Why? Because it will make it more engaging, make it more entertaining, make it more social, make it more fun. I mean, we know about all. I mean, truly that happens, you know. One thing that I noticed in our campus, probably is true here, the very first week of the campus, there is a huge traffic jam. There's no place to go. But the third week and the fourth week of the campus, probably you noticed that. There is no, in fact, the first week, the police is coming to our campus, you know, because I was always wondering why is that? You know, why now, you know, the first week of a semester, we have maybe 3 times more students on the campus than the third week of the class. Of course, it's the beginning of a semester and you are curious to see who is in your class. You are curious to see who are the new students. This is the curiosity. But after that, the curiosity is over. You know, there is no five. The same boarding student are in the same class. Okay, so but here with this, you always get connected to other students in other universities and so on and so forth. So that becomes kind of entertaining, you know, to that level. Always would challenge you, and I don't know to what extent you, I mean, I intentionally use Facebook and social media very heavily because I wanted to understand the psychological aspect of it. I want to understand the business logic aspect of it and so on. But there is always, I mean, I notice and that this happens to me, for example. Somebody is always liking somebody else's post, you know? And out of curiosity, I say, what is going on? And that becomes entertaining to me, and that becomes the reason that I want to spend more time to it, okay? So this is what we wanted to do in this environment, because the challenge that we have so far is nobody is using the learning management system except they just go there to check their grade, yeah? We want to use a technique to encourage a student to participate more in using the learning environment, to engage with each other, and as much as we do, we're going to try to limit them to engagement about the subject of the course. So that's why we did, for example, the dynamic mapping of all of this. And you were mentioning the hashtagging. Yes, you just put a hashtag in front of the board, automatically get hashtag within this class. Okay, so other students can see it. The instructors can define some hashtag as a subject discussion and encourage students to say, well, you are making a post, use the hashtag. You know, for example, in my class, basically that's what I did. When a student are making a post for entrepreneurship class. So when they submit it, in fact, it's going to ask them that, would you select one or more of these hashtags that the instructor will say? One of them, for example, is financing. The other one is exit strategy. The other one is, you know, so with this is going to be very nicely tagged. So when I go to the course and I want to see how many posts and who say what about financing, I just click on that hashtag. Okay, so we can do something. You had a question?
How about handling large numbers of students? Like you have a course in a global environment, and you have 10,000 students. Are there any tools that handles those kind of large number of students? Because if they post one thing, you will see 10,000, maybe more things. How can you handle those kind of people?
Well, of course, the maximum size of the class that we have is about 300, 400 students, a real class, like auditorium. But what you are saying is that it could be, it depends how many other universities are putting their courses on CN. But yes, at a given time there might be 5,000 students, you know, taking an entrepreneurship course in different universities. So you can imagine that on a given day there should be about 10,000 posts. Yeah. So how do we prioritize that? Which post to show where? Well, this is a new project that we have at CN, which is a learning agent. So the learning agent basically would look at many different attributes and try to filter it the way that you want. You notice that when you go to Google and search for something, is 90% of the time it finds you exactly what you want. And you know, of course, this is hundreds of millions of dollars of research that Google has done. You know, in fact, they claim that they are looking at 200 attributes. You know, their algorithm is about 200 attributes to find this. In the learning agent, which actually this is a project that we already started. We have a postdoc at the Cyber Lab and 2 graduate students and some intern. So what we are doing is we are trying to identify all of those attributes, and based on that attribute, show you a list of posts which actually for you would be different than for the other classmates. Okay? And how do we do that? I can show you a very simple thing that we do. Based on the hashtag that you used, okay, let's say there are 5,000 posts in this category, and then in fact we have courses that has got more than 5,000 posts. Okay, so let's say if you use certain keywords and hashtag, it basically could assume that maybe you are interested on those hashtags. Facebook is using this strategy. You know, if you, for example, I mean, I find this one accidental and I research it and I find that this is exactly how Facebook is doing it. You know, I became interested on those posts in Facebook about cats and animals and dogs, you know, which is very funny, and YouTube video. And then I noticed that I'm getting more and more of those, you know. And then I did a research and I find that actually this is what Facebook is doing. It's monitoring the likes that you are doing or reposting that you are doing. And each post they kind of dynamically categorize it, like they say cats, okay? So Facebook sees that and keep liking posts that is about cat. So it's going to show me more cat posts. Because you know Facebook, there are millions of posts there. Yeah, which one I should see on those. So we can use the same category. So of course this is I mean truly a million, tens of hundreds of millions of dollars of project. You know, this learning agent. We just started it. This is something that we are trying to collaborate with other universities. But there are a lot of attributes that we can look at it to do the sorting. You know, I give an example. Let's say that in this entrepreneurship course, I would say that let's take a look at this case study. There's a hyperlink, and we're going to talk about it next week. Yeah, so that would be very easy. That automatically is going to see how many of those courses are there. The teacher also used this hyperlink. If it was automatically, would sort it and put it on the top. Yeah? Let's say the teacher in the assignment section say, next week we're going to talk about marketing strategy. Yeah? Marketing strategy definitely is being used in many of those posts as a hashtag. So automatically it's going to post and show that. So this is a kind of a good problem to have, which we are going to have, but it's very easy to solve. Again, very easy in terms of doing it. It would require a lot of research. So to summarize, what I say is, the way that we are doing the sorting is the following. Of course, the post that the instructor makes automatically shows on the top. You know, let's say that there is 150 students in this class and they are doing posting like crazy, and that's actually the case. But a student come in, they must see the instructor post first, yeah? So this is the logic that this algorithm that we have. So if I haven't logged into my course for 2 days, when I log in, I'm sure that within the last 2 days there was about 300 posts, but I'm going to see the instructor post on the top. Yeah? Because that's a very simple rule that we use. And then we use a chronological order, the one on the top. Then we can use
most recent on the top.
Most recent on the top, like what Facebook is doing. And also the one that has received more likes, the one that actually, we haven't quite implemented that part of it, but we could even show the one that has got more links and has got more words and has got more video in it. Because the whole idea is, especially for the global post, that we want to show the good post, like what Google is doing. Why do we like Google? Because no matter how you search it, the first link is the one that you want. So here should be the same. So when you say show me the global post, we wanted to show a good post from Nigeria, from Malaysia, from all of those. We don't want to do all of those. So there are very easy ways of doing the sorting, and this is a kind of a good problem that soon we're going to have. I mean, every semester we have more and more courses in there, so each courses would generate more and more posts.
Also, there may be, I think his question was also, there are lots of students in one class, like groups work standard, there may be thousands of students.
Sure, yeah.
So what about all these postings?
So first of all, they have to be in CN. The course must be tagged with that. Okay, so.
So how will the instructor handle that? There are thousands of posts.
Yeah, but the instructor doesn't read all of them.
Yeah, he does not.
He doesn't.
Things like this ANRs are automatically done.
Well, they are not automatically cons, but again, based on the notion of the self-policing, that the students are not violating, like what I was saying this morning, is the self-policing actually works very well. There's a physics course that actually I'm a student of, I can show it to you. It got 150 on this course, about 160 students, auditorium course. There's a lot of posts in there. Although the teachers say he reads all of those because it's becoming very entertaining. I want to see what my students are talking about. But again, the rule is that you must make a post which is related to this. Like this week we are talking about physics, so this aspect of physics. So if a student cheat, why the student would cheat? Because they want those analyses, yeah? They want that 5%. And they know all they need to do is make a post which has got minimum number of 25 words, but the post doesn't necessarily need to be about physics, it could be about something else. Other students actually attack them. Who will say, hey, by the way, this course is not related to physics, and actually I have seen some of those posts, So the self-policing and the social embarrassment going to click in and force the student don't do that, because this is the rule, And of course the teacher may accidentally see it, because the student know that the teacher may accidentally see the post and may read that, So you notice that the literature course actually, once in a while the instructor is making the reflection, because he's also very excited. So let me show you how the announce table would work.
Sorry, I think they have to do hashing.
Yeah. Let me go to another course. Okay, I know what course. There's a course that I really, really enjoy. Again, I'm a member of this course, and this course is being offered in university in Malaysia. And by the way, that University Malaysia is not licensed. The instructor find out about the student and create an account and did everything. What he did, you can do exactly today. But let's look at this one. The course is about fundamental of transportation. You see this one here? And again, he's using the task tool, tell the student what to do. Take a look at this one here. He's got 83 students in this class. So far, 616 posts. But global posts is 2,300. Okay? So that means the other courses that is being tagged as fundamental of transportation is there. And let's look at some of the posts that the student has made. Actually, it's very interesting. So you see a lot of pictures about different type of transportation. Look at this one. And I believe he's giving only 3% bonus point to the student. So they find pictures, they write about it. Again, this is about transportation, yeah? So look at the amount of casual learning involved in this course. I mean, this is not what a typical class happens. The student doing all of these on their own. This is not their homework, you know, like look at this one here. You know, this guy find it nice pictures of, you know, look at this one here, look at this one here, it's all about the transportation. Okay, let's look at some of the, I want to see the global post, so let's look at some of those. Okay, these are the global posts. Let's see from what other courses is coming. So this course is coming, look at this one here, that's a different course. See, this is the course number, yeah? It came from
about the same topic?
It must be from the same topic. The only way that it could show up, either from the same topic or the instructor, they pair it together, you know? For example, you and I, you are teaching economy, I'm teaching finance. But we want to engage with a student together so we can work together. That's the only way we do. So, okay, look at this one here. Look at this one here. Again, this is a different course. Okay, by mousing over the course, we can tell you what it is. So, look at this course. You can see the amount of activity here. The amount of activity here. This course again is a different course. Look at this one here. Okay, this is post of the week. We want to indirectly encourage a student to write good posts. Yeah? So the system automatically finds a good post. Every Saturday at midnight, it's going to go and look at all the posts and see how many likes and reflection a post has received. And then there's this very simple formula to calculate. So the post that has received the most number of likes plus 2 times the number of reflections plus the number of words on the reflection, come up with a number. The post that has got the highest number, make it post of the week. So when a student goes to the class, they sit on the top. You know, in fact, we used to have a sentence say, congratulations to Mary, to have the post of the week. And guess what? The student gets 25 narcissists for that. So that means when a student just browsing around to find YouTube video, pictures, write something about transportation, find a good one, because if you find a good one, you get a lot of likes, you know, you get a lot of reflection, and your post becomes post of the week. And you get 25 analysis. So let's look at the number of analyses that the student have in this class.
Professor Japan, we have an order of tea and coffee on there. Maybe we take a break, but maybe also there are other topics you want to discuss. This is A&R course, I think this is very nice. There was another thing like e-portfolio.
And the badge.
And the badge.
Sure.
We really have time for that because some people.
How much time do we have?
We run out of time. But we have workshops tomorrow. Workshops, some of those.
So maybe let me finish this, and then we come back, I'll tell you about the badging and the e-portfolio. Okay? So this is how the gamification works. See, in this class, the instructors say you must make 300 analyses. You see this one here? Like I, as a student of this class so far, I've got 81 analyses. And I'm in the red. Okay, in the red means that this is because I'm looking at the, because the course expired. No, I'm 219, less than the average number of honors in this class. Look at this student. This student has received 1,345 honors. Okay, and let me very quickly show you the course roster. Okay, look at the course roster. You know, like if I sort it by the number of honors. Okay, like this one here. I see this student so far received 1,345 honors. Why? Because she has made 75 posts. Okay, this is actually where I can make the conclusion, the entertaining part of it. The student becomes so crazy about this that they make 75 posts in this class, and if you want to see what those posts are, you just click on it. Okay? So you see the amount of work that this student has done in this class. And this is all the informal learning that I was talking about. Okay? Yeah. But anyhow. And so each time that you go to the class, you basically see this graph, and this graph tells you where you are, who is the most active student, and on and on and on. And so with this, maybe we should take a break and come back talk about the portfolio part and the back end.